Hello, good morning, good evening, to depends on your locations, and you're welcome to our channel. And today we just have some quick touches on some news making the headlines. Here it says Israeli government suspend controversial judicial reform legislation after months of protest. So it goes by saying the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced the suspension of the controversial judicial overhaul after months of massive nationwide demonstrations. In a statement on Monday evening, Netanyahu said that he ordered a timeout on the controversial legislation until after the Knesset recess in order to give a real opportunity for real dialogue. He condemned a minority of extremists that are willing to tear the country to shreds, leading to civil war and calling for refusal of army service, which he called a terrible crime. So Sahara Reporters has reported that two influential members of Israel's parliament, the Knesset, the Knesset, introduced the bill to outlaw the teaching of the gospel of Jesus Christ in Israel and sentence violators to prison. Israel already banned Christians from proselytizing minors, but this new bill will go even further and ban any and all efforts to tell people about Jesus. Criticism have followed the introduction of the bill that will make it a criminal offense to persuade anyone to convert to another religion. Earlier, local media reported that the Israeli Prime Minister had lengthy discussions on the matter overnight with his political allies. So the reform is a key demand of National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. His Osman Yehudit party has just 6 seats in the Knesset, but if it leaves the governing coalition, Netanyahu will lose his majority and have to call for another election. So the announcement comes after Netanyahu fired his defense minister, Yoav Gallant, who challenged the reform, arguing that it threatens national security. The move added fuel to the protests, with hundreds of thousands of people taking to the streets across the country. So as the protests intensified, resulting in clashes with police, Israeli Prime Minister, Israeli President Isaac Herzog urged the governing coalition to stop legislation immediately, adding that the unrest is threatening the nation's security, economy, and society. So the reform was meant to limit the power of the Supreme Court to rule against the legislative and executive branches of government while granting the governing coalition a minority on the committee that appoints judges. The proposal met fierce opposition, with opponents describing the overhaul as an attack on democracy. So first of all, and let's just analyze it in a little bit because, as you all know, the Christians see Israel as their Mecca, sort of, as far as Christianity is concerned. So, but in Israel itself, it don't seem to see Christianity as anything. because they have the same religion that Jesus was persecuted for, which was Judaism. They still have that religion up to now. So that is their original religion. That is the majority religion. That is practiced in Israel. Although in Israel you have Christians, you have Muslims, but they are in the minority. So, but what this law was trying to do, or is trying to do, is to ban anything that has to do with Christianity in its entirety. Because if you ban preaching and converting people to Christianity, then it means technically you've already banned the religion, because they've already banned the religions in some ways, or limited its power by making sure that that children, or like that the children, adolescents are not you know converted or forced into that's what they call it. He said that Israel already bans Christians from proselytizing minors. So, but this new bill will go even further and ban any and all efforts to tell people about Jesus. So you see what that is. So if you stop or ban or criminalize people from preaching the gospel of Christ, to anyone in Israel, that has, that means you've already, you know, banned the religion, in its entirety. So that is it. So, but what I'm saying is that I feel sorry for some people because, you know, in Africa when we're growing up, all these things we hear all these people singing and stuff like that. Hear my people who are Christians, they are always singing about Jerusalem and this and this and this and that. So when they hear things like this, I think their spirits will be kind of broken. So maybe they have to rethink again and start to either go back to their own African religion, or they start to build another Mecca for themselves, as far as the Christian faith is concerned. You know, especially for the African Christians, because the Israelis don't care about anything like that. So maybe the Europeans, they too will see how, how they can cash in on that, because they're always looking for an opportunity to cash in on anything. So, but Africans are always for it, with what do you call it, religious activities and stuff. Imagine the amount of money that is being spent, for African that Africans are spending to go to Israel on pilgrimage on yearly basis. So if that we have to be channeled somewhere else, if I were to be a governor, maybe I have to build another Jerusalem somewhere in a mountain somewhere in Nigeria, so that others can be coming there for pilgrimages and stuff. So in no time, 20 years from now, then it will become the real thing. So who knows? So that is just that. To me, I find that very funny and interesting at the same time. So, but let the people judge for themselves and know what they have to do. So that is that. And the second one is that America, the ambassador the American ambassador to Nigeria, as you see, I've not seen her before, so it's my first time of seeing her, because I never even knew that they have a new ambassador, whether they have a lady ambassador, because the lady ambassador, or the UK whatever that I knew then last year or 2 years ago, you know, that I know that that woman was already sent back in from Nigeria due to some whatever things that she was politics that she was playing in Nigeria. So I hope that this American ambassador or ambassadress is not also involved in another illegal what have you, because they always come in with all these bright smiles and stuff, but deep down there's something else, you know. So I don't even know why they should be having all these ambassadors and things like that in every country in Africa, and why Africans themselves will be losing guard as if this ambassador or ambassadress are there to serve Nigerians' interests or purpose. No, they are there for Americans' interests and purpose. And if need be, They are there to protect all the American companies from exploiting and looting Nigeria resources. So, but it's our business to protect our own resources and protect our country as well. So, likewise, we having ambassadors elsewhere in other countries, and these ambassadors that we are having in Europe and America are merely there as a symbol because I don't think they really do anything. All they do there is just to go to parties and stuff. You know, we see all the African ambassadors, party, and things like that. That's what they do at symposium and bullshit. You know, so, but even ordinary passport, they can't even issue to our own people. You know, imagine there was a time that you can hardly, I think even up to now, you can hardly get Nigerian passport in Berlin. You know, so and for you to get Nigerian passport, you have to apply for like 2, 3 years, and you're waiting for your passport. And your children are waiting for passport. Children are born in Berlin, they are born in Germany, and you have to travel all the way from south of Germany, like Munich or Munich, you know, all the way to Berlin, just to go and get the passport, you know, and you keep going there for maybe for like 3 years. Ordinary single passport. After spending a lot of money and stuff like that, and yet you won't get it. So until guys start to cross borders and going to Belgium and coming to Holland and going to all parts of Europe just to get a Nigerian passport, an ordinary Nigerian passport, an ID, identity, something you're supposed to get within 24 hours under normal circumstances. So what happened to the booklets? What's so special about the booklets that cannot be printed? Is it not money that they need to print these things? Is it not money that they are charging? So where's the money going? So to me, ambassador, US ambassadors, they are very effective as far as their country is concerned. They protect their own interests, their company's interests, and things like that. So, but our Nigerian ambassadors, what are they doing? Or African ambassadors, what are they doing in Europe? Going to parties and stuff like that all within Europe, and at the same time, they are being paid huge salaries and stuff. So let me just read it the way it is said. There is huge interest from American companies in Nigeria, but a big but, right? I don't know what they mean. What but? Is it B-U-U-T? Is it B-U-T-T? Or what? You know, so a huge but. You see? Is it is it Nigeria is inherently attractive because of just the size of the market. I mean, no one wants to be outside of Nigeria because it is just too tempting a place. But I think that it could be made easier for people. Made easier as how? What do you mean? For Nigerians or for you exploiters? I bet. Don't tell one with all these stories. See, Nigeria has missed some opportunities in the business and economic policies, but a rethink will savage the country. The outgoing U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Beth Leonard, says, so she's even outgoing. Oh, I'm not really into with all this American thing and stuff, in Nigeria. So, so, lucky me, because it don't really interest me anymore. Anything America, Britain, or ambassador in Nigeria, because I know that once they are in Africa, they are not there for your own good. They are just there for themselves. You can see how this woman is looking now. Watch out for this woman. 1 year from now, if you see her, you won't recognize her. Why? Because she has been living in paradise in Nigeria right now. And she go back to the US, you see her. You see all the wrinkles and everything will show. All the stress and everything will come back, will resonate back to her face. They always been like that. When they're in Nigeria, they're feeling like something else, jumping around, you know. But through trying to, poke nose in matters that they don't have any business poke nosing about. Just like that, what was her name? Katrina Lane, the British former ambassador to Nigeria, etc. She was just going from state to state, talking, you know, poke nosing into Nigeria politics in the open. And it's like everybody was just giving her audience. How many Nigerians ambassador have you seen here, in Holland, going to meet one burgomaster in Rotterdam or Amsterdam or Utrecht or any of those big cities and stuff like that, and telling them how to run their business. Then Kenya ambassador doing the same thing, South Africa ambassador doing the same thing, or Uganda ambassador doing the same thing, or Ghana ambassador doing the same thing. Hmm? First, they just see you as another nigger. So if you have managed to be given attention, oh, he's not just a nigga, it's an ambassador. Oh, ambassador, okay, you're ambassador, how are you? Uh-huh. It's like, so what? You know, so that is the way it's supposed to be. You're just an ordinary citizen. Because you have a diplomatic passport, it doesn't make you any special. That is it. So Mary Beth was that woman, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, outgoing. She noted that a rethink was important to attract more investors. Can you imagine? This woman has been in Nigeria now for how many years? I don't know. But now all of a sudden she's about to leave Nigeria. Now she starts to talk about a rethink of, trying to attract more businesses to Nigeria and stuff like that. So all these years that you've been in Nigeria, what have you been doing for Nigeria? Nothing. So I guess all those visa restrictions and stuff like that and things. In fact, you've been the one responsible for all those stuff, denying our people visas. And meanwhile, it's not like when you pay money for this visa, this American visas application, it's not like when you are denied that you'll be refunded. I mean, the fee and every other thing, this thing that you paid. So you can just imagine that, a poor country like Nigeria or like other African countries. I think this is also, happening all over Africa. The poor people, we managed to get some money, for their pairs to want to apply for American visa and stuff like that, you know. Then they send you to the embassy, they give you an appointment, you go there, then the next thing they reject you, then you appeal again, they reject you, you appeal again, reject you. Sometimes you have to travel to Abuja maybe 3, 4 times, from all other parts of the country. Therefore, drain the resources of your family. It's not like you're likely to get those things back. So at the end of the day, maybe 200 people apply for this visa and only 10 people get it. Even when Donald Trump came, yeah, I remember when he was so furious about Nigerians coming to US to study, that they were trying to cut the size of Nigerians coming to the US to study. That most of them, when they come to the US to study, that they likely go back home. That was when he started talking about this shithole uh, of thing and stuff like that. But the Nigerian populace rubbed the shit on their body and just accepted that really that Africa was a shithole. So that was it. So now you can see that this woman was a part of that shithole syndrome, and now she's about to go. Then all of a sudden she just realized suddenly that yeah, I think we should have done more, by attracting more businesses, into Nigeria, all attracting more of American companies, because she is the one that have to make a report, or she's, the head of the team that always make the reports, from these various countries, or maybe she's even the one heading the whole of West Africa and stuff like that. As far as businesses is concerned and things like that, that they have to report back to the US and tell them, okay, yeah, these countries are safe, the environment is safe for business in this area and stuff like that. But the thing is that whether your country is safe or not, America always do business there, but it all depends on the kind of business you want them to do. Because in most cases, they are coming there by fire by force. So even if there is war in Somalia today, so long there's money there to be made, then the American companies are coming there, either through another subordinate company or through some other means, or through some even the indigenous people who are being sponsored, to do some criminal stuff and things like that. And right now, as we speak, maybe in the Congo, they are smuggling all kinds of minerals out of Congo. They are getting it very cheap, illegally and stuff like that. So for them, who cares? So what I'm saying is that Africa should stop, especially Nigeria should stop, being, obtune about this American thing and stuff like that. It's not so special about America as far as I'm concerned. You know, you can visit America if you want to visit. If you have the opportunity to get a visa to study in America, why not? They have the best schools in the world. That I agree. You understand? But why kill yourself over all this stuff? So when you can get knowledge from anywhere, if you can't get it in Nigeria, get it from any other part of Africa, any other part of the world, maybe even at a cheaper rate. So at the end of the day, with the American companies, the American uh, countries themselves, will be, well, I mean, we do anything just to have you, to work for them. As far as you have a very legit and certificate, you know, or what do you call it, a degree and whatsoever, diploma and things like that. So that's the way I see it. So this one we're just talking here, he said there's a huge interest, from American companies in Nigeria. That a very robust American business chamber that all investors, whether they are Nigerians operating, in this environment or foreigners looking for engagement, seek stability, you know, and predictability. See, that is with which one can move money in and out. You can see that. It's not about that. It's not about repatriating their funds. You know, so there are all factors that color the business environment in Nigeria, and I think that there is some work to be done. To make it more attractive. Mrs. Leona said in an exclusive interview with Premier Times. So what I'm saying is that, you see, she just confirmed what I just said. So it's all about moving money, funds in and moving funds out. What do you mean by moving funds in and out? The banks are there, are they not operating? So do you want to use a briefcase to move money in and out of Nigeria and stuff like that? That's what they be doing, not this why. Illegal, you know, illegal repatriation of funds, as long as they have one contact with one custom boss or one immigration this thing at the airport and stuff like that, because in their own country they are covered. So you can carry some briefcases, load with cash and stuff like that with dollars, and they move them out of Nigeria at ease. They can in Nigeria move money to the US at ease, the way these people are doing. So who is to blame there? Blame our own very agencies, because they are the ones who actually are helping these people. They are betting and you know, abetting and helping these people out, with all these criminal exploit of the country. So the same thing applies to other countries in Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it, for now. So, I am your moderator, Abodi J, and I hope to see you soon. So, but whatever it is, don't get carried away. America, 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 and American companies, they are not coming to do anything for you for free. Not today, not tomorrow, not in Nigeria, and not in Africa. So that was it. So subscribe to our channel if you have not, and give us a thumbs up. And please share these videos. Let us see it and be wise once and for